Welcome back to the box office, guys. We have another episode for you guys today. We are continuing with this awesome month of boxing. We just got off of Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz and Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz. Moving forward to this weekend, we are back on track with Vasiliy Lomachenko versus Richard Commey. Now, interesting matchup as Lomachenko is trying to get back into the title picture. Richard Commey in his own right is trying to do the same thing. Both of those guys have losses against Teofimo Lopez, who just recently got upset, versus George Kambosos. Not knowing what the future at 135 looks like for Teofimo Lopez, it looks like he might be moving up to 140. Lomachenko and Commey are looking for a shot at the titles. Facing each other, coming out with the win this weekend will definitely put them back in the picture. Let's take a look at Richard Commey. He is the Vegas underdog, meaning he's at a plus 500, meaning if you bet $100, you're going to get 500 in return if he wins. His record currently sits at 30 wins, 27 knockouts, and 3 losses. Only one loss coming by the way of knockout, and that loss by knockout was against Teofimo Lopez. He is 5'8", and a 71-inch reach. He's an orthodox fighter and he's 34 years old. Keep in mind, his last fight was against Jackson Martinez, where he won by KO. Prior to that was against Teofimo Lopez, where he lost by TKO. And even so before then was against Raimundo Beltran, where he won by KO. A notable fight of his was against Robert Easter, where he lost a split decision. Robert Eastern has been in the title hunt as well. He fought the likes of Mikey Garcia and Ryan Blue Chip Martin. We're going to look at Lomachenko on the other hand. He is a Vegas favorite. He's a big favorite. He is a minus 800 favorite, meaning you have to pay $800 to get 100 in return. If he were to win, of course. He is at 15 wins, 11 of those wins coming by the way of knockout, and 2 losses. Those 2 losses, early in his career, he fought Orlando Salido, and most recently, Teofimo Lopez. As I mentioned before, minus 800 on BetMGM right now. His last 3 fights were against Masayoshi Nakatani. He won that by TKO. Teofimo Lopez, he lost that by unanimous decision, and then he beat Luke Campbell by unanimous decision. Luke Campbell, also known for fighting Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia came out on top, won by TKO if I'm not mistaken. And a couple other noticeable fights for him. Lomachenko has an impressive resume for having only 17 fights. Jose Pedraza, unanimous decision. And Jorge Linares, where he won by TKO. Note, he was dropped in that fight. Right hand. Now, he is 33 years old. He is 5'7" and has a 65.5-inch reach. Richard Commey is actually going to be the taller fighter and is going to have the reach advantage in this bout. As I mentioned, he is a southpaw, and the line for him winning by KO is at a minus 220, meaning Vegas thinks ultimately that he will be able to get Richard Commey out. By decision is at a plus 300. There's a little more value on Lomachenko winning by decision. Now, for Richard Commey, by KO, he is at a plus 850, and by decision, plus 1600. Lots of value. If you're feeling lucky, sprinkle a little something on the underdog is a way to go for you. Let's take a look at the keys of victory for both fighters, and we're going to keep on looking at the Vegas underdog, Richard Commey. So first and foremost, as I mentioned before, you are going to be the taller fighter at 5'8", and you're going to have a 71-inch reach. That means you're going to have about a 6-inch reach advantage on Lomachenko. So, first thing that comes to mind, use that jab. Keep him at bay and keep your distance with that jab. Don't let him get in rhythm. And like I mentioned, find your range so that you can unload your other attack. When you're using your jab, realize that there's levels to the jab. You can jab to the head, you can jab to the body as well. Using the jab is going to neutralize his attack, and you can stop his rhythm if done correctly though. Make sure you do change levels, meaning if you're fighting tall, you have the reach advantage and you're throwing out that jab, you keep him at bay. If he's somehow landing overhand punches because you're not bringing that hand straight back, reach out, get down to his level, and try to nail him at up top to the body. Use that jab. You have the reach advantage. Might as well use it, right? Especially with a dangerous fighter like Vasiliy Lomachenko. Key number 2 is going to be set up that right hand. Richard Commey, you have a really impressive right hand, actually. Very powerful and can end the fight and change the fight, like the momentum of the fight with one punch. But what happens often with these types of fighters is that you tend to be very predictable. You tend to reach with that right hand and you tend to look for that home run shot. So set up that right hand. Use that jab to set up a right hand. Shoot it after a double jab right hand. Jab to the body, go up top with the right hand. Don't just lunge in with straight rights, trying in hopes to catching Lomachenko and ending the night. Yes, it's a possibility that if you were to catch him, you were to hurt him. But with someone like Lomachenko that's so skilled and has that head movement and that feet work, chances are you're going to have to do the dirty work and really set up that jab to make it work. So set up that right hand, okay? Don't lunge, don't reach. And like I said, disguise it. Don't become predictable. Don't be that fighter that when he's about to shoot that right hand, he shows it and then you shoot it. Or you put this hand down and you kind of almost get your elbow up like if you're going to shoot it. Hide it, disguise it, sneak it in there. And if you start landing that right hand, you have some pop, Richard. And number 3 is going to be fight moving forward. You are going to be the bigger man in there. You're going to be 5'8". You're going to have the reach advantage. But you need to get leverage in your shots. So you need a fight moving forward. If you start with backpedaling, if you start backpedaling and you start to counter, you're playing into Lomachenko's game. He wants you to move backwards because you're known as a strong, rugged fighter. You want to fight your fight and you want to dictate the pace of the fight. So you're going to want to come forward. You want to come forward behind the jab and you want to get the leverage on that jab and that right hand. Okay? And then you're not going to let him settle into his rhythm, into his feet work. Okay? You start coming forward with the jab, boom. If he's trying to move around and get his footwork going, throw another jab. Move forward and really press the issue with Lomachenko. Make him uncomfortable and you dictate the pace of this fight. You do these 3 things, you're going to put yourself in a good position to pull off the upset, the plus 500 upset, whether it's by KO or decision, plus 1600 or plus 850, you're going to be in the driver's seat. Lomachenko, on the other hand, very, very talented fighter. Can't say this enough about him. What are his keys to victory? Well, for one, Lomachenko, use that classic Lomachenko footwork. You use that footwork. It's amazing. It's second to none. You use it for so many things. You use it to get off your head movement. You use it to throw feints. And it helps you close out the distance. And that's what's going to be very important. As I mentioned before, 71-inch reach to 65.5. If you throw feints and he's not going to know when you're going to cover the distance, when you're going to move in, or if you're going to come in at an angle, that footwork is going to really keep him guessing. Now, if he's coming forward, don't go straight back. Rely on that footwork, and I know you will. If he's coming forward, step into him and pivot out. Change the momentum of the fight and really control the pace with your footwork. Whether it's defensively, offensively, you're one of the fighters that synchronizes that really well and can transition from offense to defense because of your footwork. So use it. Use that classic Lomachenko feet work, especially with someone who might be very aggressive because that's just the nature of Richard Commey. Number 2, get on the inside and attack at all angles. We've seen this time and time again from you, Vasiliy Lomachenko. You do an amazing job at once you get in there, you throw punches in bunches. But the reason why I want you to be in there is because that reach advantage. You want to try to smother his punches and get your attack off first. You do that, you can start landing to the body, you can start landing to the head. If he has a high guard, you can unload to the body. And if you bring his eye level down, you can sneak punches over the top and looping right hands and left hands. You're going to dictate the fight in there on the inside. So, advantage, Lomachenko. Get on the inside and attack at all angles. Remember, that feet work, I've seen you pivot around feet and then punch fighters from all kinds of angles. It's all going to come together like a puzzle, right? Pieces of the puzzle. And number 3, it's going to be get your head off the line. And this is going to be very important because if you're looking at Richard Commey, when he got knocked out by Teofimo Lopez, his head stays right here when he throws his right hand. You being so good at using your footwork, you already use that for your head movement. So when you're using that for your head movement, you get your head off the line. Just because your head is off the line doesn't mean you can't shoot. You can. So as soon as you get your head off the line and you see a punch coming or you see him at a bad angle, get your head off the line and shoot. Shoot to the head, shoot to the body, and really turn that defense into offense. You're really good at that. And to be honest, Richard Commey opens up a lot. A lot. Sometimes a little too much where he reaches with that right hand. He knows he has pop and he knows he has to land it. So at times it can even seem very predictable. So if he starts being predictable, as he's coming in with that right hand, get your head off the line and unload with your own punch. Use your feet work to move in and out of the shoulders, out of his range. So you're still in front of him, but you're not going to get hit if he throws a straight punch. Get your head off the line and shoot with him. That's how Teofimo got him out, and that's how you can get him out as well. He's been hurt like that as well. He actually got caught a couple of times against Jackson Martinez and Robert East Jr. So keep that in mind. Feet work, attack at all angles when you're on the inside, and when he wants to unload and shoot, shoot with him, but get your head off of that line. You do these 3 things, you're going to put yourself in a great position to pull off the, not Vegas upset, but just to pull off what Vegas thinks you're going to do and win. Now, whether it happens by KO, which Vegas thinks is going to happen, or decision, that's to be determined. But I also feel Vasiliy Lomachenko can win this fight. I also feel like he can knock Richard Commey out. Not necessarily in the fashion that Teofimo did, because that was more of a one punch. Perfect counter. Teofimo threw that with everything. I think it can be something like his previous fight with the Masayoshi Nakatani fight, where he gradually breaks him down, especially Comey being so physical and rugged. Second half of the fight should be rough if he starts off aggressive. This fight is going to be and last as long as Richard Commey wants it to be. If he comes out very aggressive early in the stages of this fight, I think he can be potentially done if he gets countered. If Lomachenko does it correctly and counters, he can break him down in 4 to 5 rounds. Rounds 5 through 7, Lomachenko dominates. They might stop it. But if Commey comes in here, disguises that right hand, moves smart, and comes forward, he can potentially, drag this out to the later stages of the fight. Who knows? Maybe he can win out a lot of rounds, disguise a right hand, and change the dynamic of the fight. I still personally got Lomachenko. I got him by stoppage. We'll see. Like I said, nothing but respect for Richard Commey. He's a rough, tough fighter, but Lomachenko should be too skilled for him for this bout. All right, guys, there you have it. And we'll try to do another one for this week. We also have No Needle Don't Air, so stay tuned. I'm going to try to get that video out. And let me know in the comment section, guys, if you guys want more content, maybe more of a breaking news, more of a podcast style where I just don't cover fights and I cover the news, boxing news as well. Go ahead and let me know. Please subscribe, guys. Like, comment down below. And as I mentioned, if you subscribe, you'll be getting more updates, news, and breakdowns of fights. Thank you, guys. Take care.